Hey, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is Broken Skull Sessions. My guest today, the drip god, Seth Rollins. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
How are
Thanks
you?
for having me. Good, man. Very good. Very good. Life's good. I got no complaints.
How was your trip out here? I know I'm in the middle of nowhere, and you said, how did you end up here?
Yeah. Well, I'm taking the drive down and I'm looking around and it's beautiful but I'm just like, how do you get? I mean, I just want to know. I like stories, so I just wanted to know how you got all the way out here. I'm from a small town in Iowa. I grew up kind of in the middle of nowhere and I'm partial to it, so I was just curious. I was wondering how you got here, man. But it was good. Trip was good.
There's a lot of public land out here, middle of nowhere. Nobody bothers me. I'm like considered one of the locals.
Oh,
And,
okay.
dude, I can jump in a buggy and be on the mountains in 5 minutes. So it's.
And you don't got nobody knocking at your door, nobody showing
Man,
up.
there was a knock on the door the other day because we got an impending fire coming in, and the sheriff's going around warning everybody for evacuation.
That's a fair knock. That's a fair knock.
There's some things that happen out here, but hey, welcome to my neck of the woods, and I figured no better way to break the ice because you and I've only had a couple of sit-down conversations here and there.
Yeah.
So I thought it would only be
Oh,
the right
yes.
thing to do to kick things off with a nice cold IPA, because I heard that you were a man after, an IPA just like myself.
I am a man of hops, if you will. The hop god. How about
The
it?
hop
Yeah,
god.
no, I love a good beer, man. Very excited. Thank you so much. And this
Good,
one,
brother. Congrats on all the success.
thank you so much. Oh,
Reaction. That is indeed a tasty beverage.
it's a treat.
And this isn't a cheap plug. That's a good beer.
A treat. A treat, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, man, right off the bat, congratulations. Just had a beautiful baby girl.
Yeah.
You just got married.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this picture here.
There it is. The classic. Yeah.
Precious.
God, she's the best, huh? There she is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how does it feel being a dad? I mean, you're 35, you're in the prime of your life, your wrestling career is as hot as it's ever been, and you become a father. How has this been life-changing, or has it been for you?
Yeah, honestly, I never really imagined myself as a parent. Like I kind of just wasn't my thing. And maybe I was too self-centered or whatever. And you got to be sometimes in this business if you want to get to where you want to go. But dude, I love it. I love being a dad. I never even imagined, especially being, I don't know, I guess maybe when you're a man, you imagine what father-son relationship might be like. But having a baby girl and being a girl dad, you don't really, that doesn't take shape till it's there right in front of you. But it's the best, man. It's so much fun. I enjoy every day, and I find myself smiling on a regular basis a lot more than I did, before she was born. So.
Were y'all planning on having a child?
Yes. Yes. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
I have two girls, and we weren't planning on having two girls, so I had two girls.
Yeah.
I didn't know personal question, but
I mean, Becky always wanted kids, but we never knew when the timing was going to be right, especially because she's at the top of her game. I'm at the top of my game. It's like you said, we're in our prime. So it's really, when do you find the time to have a kid? It's not like she's a civilian.
Yeah.
It's a different world. And so honestly, COVID and the pandemic kind of gave us the perfect opening for that. So yeah, the time was right. And so, yeah, it was a planned pregnancy. Sorry, Vince. Sorry. I didn't mean to take, it wasn't the intention to take her out for 9 months. But yeah, we gave it one shot, and I guess I got what it takes. So cheers to that.
Hey, congrats. You also recently got married.
A year later, yeah.
What spurred that decision? I mean, it was the thing to do, or y'all are in love and y'all are soulmates?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think it was really a formality. At the end of the day, we wanted to do it a year ago, trying to fit it into the schedule, but obviously everything changed, travel restrictions. We wanted to go to Hawaii, which is where I proposed to her the year previous, and so you just couldn't get into the state. Finally, things opened up. We were able to get a few friends and family out there. It was a very small ceremony, beautiful, but I mean, it was 5 minutes, done and done. We ate cake, had beer, toasted, and then hung out in Hawaii for a few days.
The king of romance. How did you propose to her?
Yeah, that one was pretty nice. It was actually on a beach in Maui at sunset. Yeah, we did the road to Hana, which if you've ever been to Maui, is basically there's one giant road all the way around the island. And it's like hairpin turns, but you got to go so slow. You got to go down all these windy paths and stuff. And you can go in a full circle, but they don't recommend it after halfway. You got to turn around unless you have like an off-road vehicle. And we had rented a Jeep, so we went a little bit further. We were going all the way around, and I didn't really have a plan. I had the ring, but I didn't have a plan. I was like, we'll wing it. You know, we'll wing it. We'll see what happens. And we had gone through.
Call it in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. Call it on the fly. So we got in there. We got halfway through, and we just had come around this corner, and the sunset was going down over the Pacific. And I was like, oh, let's stop and take some pictures. It'll be really nice. There's a nice little. It was a kind of a rocky beach there, but there was nobody there. So I was like, let's just detour. So I got out and I was taking my time in the back seat, getting the ring out. I was like not nervous, but also nervous. And so then, she went down ahead of me. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I snatched it up, got it in there. And I went to take just to get it out. And she was a few feet ahead of me. And I turned around and when she turned around, I was on a knee there with the ring. And she's like, oh my God, is this real? Is this real? Yes, of course. So thankfully, it wasn't any pulling teeth. We got the job done. And then there happened to be one other person on this beach, and she was a photographer. She had a professional camera, and she was just like, hey, can I take a picture of you guys? Why, yes. So it was super appropriate, and it was a real nice proposal. And she said yes, and we're still there, so things are good.
Man, that's amazing that you took the route. You're in Hawaii. The professional photographer that was there.
Yeah.
When I asked my wife to marry me, it was in a deer stand in South Texas.
Hey,
The farthest thing from romance.
Romance is about perspective. Maybe for your wife, that was as good as it gets. I don't know,
Hey, talk to me about life back on the road because, man, you're in front of live crowds again. How does it feel to be back? Because we were talking off camera and you were saying, God dang, man, thank God people are back because falling down with nobody there really, really hurts.
Oh, at this stage in my career, I'm over that, man. Falling down in front of nobody's the worst. And you got to remind yourself, during the 18 months, 16 months, whatever we were doing shows in front of nobody, okay, there's still millions of people watching at home every week. So trying to keep that in the back of your mind. And at the end of the day, you're a professional. You're going to get the job done. You're not going to take shortcuts. You take pride in your performance. You go out there and give it everything you got. And I think anybody who watched what I did during that period, you're not gonna see me taking shortcuts. So, but yeah, dude, it feels so good to be back out there in front of live crowds. Like just the energy. I mean, the timing and pacing's a lot different too, but just the energy alone, that adrenaline that it gives you. And my favorite thing about it is now I've got a built-in response. So like, I know if I did a good job. That was the hardest thing that's how we gauge our responses. Did I do a good job? Well, if they're making noise,
that's information.
Yeah, then that's it,
Yeah.
And so when we didn't have that feedback, we had the internet, which isn't always accurate, and Vince, and he's not always accurate either. So, we just didn't have that 100%. We know we did a good job thing. So being able to go out there and get that response, that's it. That's what you do it for, man. That's what you live for, and no matter what, however you got there, that's the job you were supposed to do, and you did it the right way. And so that response and that connection, that's why I got into it. That's why.
How do you feel now? I want to get to this in a little bit, but right now, kind of as a drip guide with this new. I mean, this character is phenomenal. So how have the reactions been from a satisfaction standpoint? Because for so long you were so good and still are so good in the ring, but there wasn't that character development, which there is now. So how have the reactions been for you as far as a reaffirmation of, hey man, I'm on the right track?
I've actually been surprised. I thought I would get more boos than I have been. I really thought it was going to be more of a negative reaction in a good way, But I've been surprised that the crowds that we've been in front of haven't. It's been a bit split. They've been excited to see me more than I expected.
Well, but I think that's that mixed reaction is because they're excited to see you. But then on the other hand, sometimes when you're so entertaining, you get that mixed bag. So it's all good as long as it's there.
Yeah. I mean, as long as they're making noise, I don't care what they're doing. If they're not making noise, then we got to switch something up. And I've been there in my career before. So this is nice. And I can't really tell you. The funny thing is, I don't even really know what this thing is. It's just taken off in my head. And you've got the suits, but it's more than that, right?
It is.
And so I think it's got a lot of legs for the future, and I don't know where it's going to go or what it's going to look like. But for right now, I'm having a hell of a time. I mean,
Well, it looks like
look at
it.
that guy's having a hell of a time.
But dude, when you're having that much fun on TV, it comes through the TV, and people feel it. And I believe that's when you really affect people when they can feel what you're doing.
Yeah,
Right?
I one thing about it is I love the versatility, right? This guy can do anything. He can be in any kind of segment you want. You can laugh at him, you can laugh with him, but he can take your head off too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's also a safety net because of the security that you have in that character.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. For some reason, it works really well. I mean, him vibe, and I can't explain it, but it's there, man.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho! That's every guy's dream.
You know, before we dive kind of into your career, we'll gloss over some things. You've had such a long, illustrious career. We can't cover everything, but I always go through all of your accolades. You're a two-time WWE champion, two-time Universal champion, NXT champion,
Yep.
ROH champion, you know, IC champion, US champion, tag team champion. You've done it all. But one of the things that stuck out on your resume was the fact that, along with myself, at one point in your life in 2019, you had the worst match of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
According to whom?
Yes.
According to whom?
We won't say his name, the Observer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you get the worst match of the year, and I was on a scaffold match with PN News, Terry Taylor, and I love beautiful Bobby Eaton. And we had no business on a scaffold. I'm not a big heights guy to begin with.
Oh, no.
So anyway.
So you were voted worst match of the year as well?
Absolutely, yeah.
Cheers to
Yeah,
that.
cheers to that. Worst
cheers to
match
that.
of the year. Swing a beer. We stunk the joint out. Did you know you were stinking the joint out? Or?
God, man, that's a real complex story because we're talking about the Hell in a Cell match with The Fiend. And look, my vision for what that match was going to be is a lot different than what we had to go out there and do. And so we went out there and we did what we were told to do to the best of our ability. I mean, obviously, as it was ongoing, I felt, I mean, you watch it back, it's booze piled upon booze, piled upon booze. And then at the end of it, you know, the reaction when the audience didn't get the result they wanted, that's a real tough pill to swallow. And man, God, it sucks. It's a sucky feeling. You know, you go back to it now, and so we talked about the Drip God character, but that character doesn't exist without that match because that's really the catalyst for what happened later that year. Because that was in October, I want to say. Yeah. So we're looking at, you know, by the time December, January rolls around, I'm no longer burn it down Seth Rollins. I'm a totally different being. Right. And then, you know, you look at the next year and a half after that to get to where we're at now. So things happen for a reason. They happen the way they're supposed to happen. And so it was what it was. But here we are. And like I said, where we're at now, being able to talk about this cool character doesn't exist without that match. So a lot of good came from it in some ways.
You always put a positive spin on everything. I enjoy that. But you also think that really things aren't destiny. Everything is a work in progress.
Yeah.
And you have to make the things happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, I put a positive spin on it now that I can look back at it a year and a half later. But at the time, I came through that curtain and I was ready to strangle Vince McMahon. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson was there to hold me back.
You really shoot mad.
Dude, I stared right into Vince's eyes because you know where he sits in that chair over there. I looked at him. He looked at me. We didn't say a single word to each other, and he walked out. And then I sat down there with Paul Heyman, who was also, at the time, he was the creative director of Raw. And so I sat down there with him, and we had a conversation. he was, Paul Heymaning me, if you will.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went into Vince's office. I was much calmer, and I said, let's talk about this. We need to figure out what we're doing here, because that can't happen again. And it was civil, but it took me a night but I was ready to go, man. If somebody wasn't there making sure that I was okay, my temper was, the adrenaline that.
But you know what? That just shows, how much you care and the passion for the business. And then all of a sudden you're presented with almost an insurmountable task. Things go south. Hey, man, because maybe you had a different vision.
Yeah.
Probably could have pulled it off.
In my head, if you go back to that match, I'm convinced that if it would have went our way, this wouldn't be on that list. You'd be alone on that list.
Hey, it wasn't my idea to have a friggin' scaffold match either. Hey, let's go back to your early days in Davenport, Iowa, because I'm assuming you grew up as a fan of the business.
Yeah.
Because, man, I'm doing research on you. I'm saying, man, Seth Rollins is wrestling at 14 years of age. So, like, how did you get turned on to the business? And 14 is really, really young. Look at this young buck right here, man.
My goodness.
Holy
Look at that
cow.
awful chin beard. What a buffoon.
This is a pre-architect.
Yeah, I will say, yeah, man. So, I loved it from an early age. I don't know exactly what got me into it right out of the gate, but I remember my first live event. I was probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. My dad and my grandpa, my uncle were big into wrestling as they called it. And we went to a live event, and that was it, man. I was hooked. You seen these guys in person for the first time. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, the Legion of Doom, bad guys like the Mountie and DiBiase and stuff. And I just was hooked. We used to go to our local video cassette store, and we would get, old WrestleMania tapes and just watch them on end. And then the internet came about this time. Like I was just a kid, man. It's 2099, but that's when you started to see. So Mick had put his backyard wrestling stuff, and WWE was showing that, him jumping off the thing. And then you got these kids uploading their videos. You get like the best of backyard wrestling. And I was like, well, I got a trampoline. Yeah, I got a trampoline. Let's do some stuff, man. So we went to the Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever the hell. We got some sawhorses, some plywood boards. We got we probably stole those ladders. You know what I mean? We were poor. We probably went to some garage and yanked it. And me and my buddies just put on shows for our friends. We cut little flyers up around the school and give them to everybody around the school. I'd leave them on the urinals and stuff like that. Just whatever I could to get the word out. Yeah. We'd get, on a good day, we get maybe 100 people out there.
Good
sometimes.
For your crowd, yeah.
We'd pass around a little donation jar, and then we go and take the $30 that they put in there of dimes and quarters and down to the local diner after the show and talk about how awesome our awful backyard wrestling matches were over some waffle fries and ranch dressing.
How are you guys going about putting together matches back at an early age, just based on watching it? And how are you trying to execute this stuff, because you really have no knowledge?
Yeah.
But you're an amazing athlete.
So I was fortunate enough to, my folks got me into organized sports when I was younger. So I played baseball, basketball, a little bit of football, stuff like that. So, I kind of had a bit of wherewithal over my body. But then as a consolation gift for my parents' divorce, they got me a trampoline. Yeah. Entertain yourself on that, since you ain't got no friends. So they got me a trampoline, and I spent a lot of time on there, and I was able to learn how to control my body. Now, at the same time that I mentioned all that kind of backyard wrestling stuff happening, I don't know if you remember, but there were these like specials on TV about like the secrets of magic, right? So they did one on pro wrestling, and I was like, oh, we can try these things on our trampoline because it's not going to hurt. And then eventually, now that was probably 12, 13 at that time. Here I'm like 15, 16, 17. But eventually it was like, well, we can just try to do these things on the ground. So we would just watch you guys, like, let's do this, let's do that. And at the time, you had ECW coming up. And so, we modeled our style, if you will, after that. As you can see, we had all the hardcore stuff out there. So we would just scour the town, get what we could, and we'd put our sequences of moves together and hope for the best.
So when would you officially kind of really go to a wrestling school? Because I read that you and your brother were kind of started working on the performance aspect of professional wrestling. Is that with respect to the body control, the flips, your highly athletic style, and all of the different chains of movesets that you put together? How does that go about?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it was just spending hours on the trampoline, just trying a bunch of stuff like that. Right there, you're watching. I was in the middle of doing a double front flip, so I'm in the middle of doing a 630. I'm like 17 years old, half an ass crack hanging out, but I'm in the middle. That's like my first flip. I'm about to cut a second one and land on my buddy safely on that table. So fortunately, I was able to really hone in doing the athletic stuff that way. But I was never one of those guys who was like, I'm good enough, I don't need to get trained. I always wanted to go to a school and learn how to do things the right way. Even at that age, I had a ton of respect for the business and the guys who were breaking in. Even though I thought I could be better than them, like I was like, nah, I need to pay my dues. You know what I mean? Whatever that means.
Right.
And at this point, I was going to some independent shows and setting up the ring and doing some camps. And so started to learn a little bit that way as well. And then my first attempt at going to a wrestling school was actually Ring of Honor. They had a school. CM Punk was running the school. It was the best school in the country. And I was going to go out to Pennsylvania. I was 18 years old. So we went out in my car with a couple of bucks and we did this tryout with Punk. And it was all just calisthenics, just running and push-ups and sit-ups. And we made the class. But then I didn't have the money to put down. Yeah. And so I was like, I spent all my money. I don't know what to do. And so they're like, well, you can't come to our school if you don't have the cash. And now at this point, so I'm living in my car with no money for a few days and I'm trying to figure out what my next step's going to be. And I'm like, you know what? And there's so much shame when you leave home. You don't want to go back, man. You don't want to go back there and face those people that told you couldn't do this and that you were just living a pipe dream. I didn't want to live that. But I sucked it up. I went back, got a job. And at the time, Danny Daniels had just opened his own school in Chicago, which is about a 3-hour drive one way from me. And I went to a show that Danny was on, and I said, hey, I want to do this. He said, you coming by yourself? I can't train you by yourself. And I'm like, he's like, find some guys. So then I just tried to rope in some dudes to come with me. We got 4 guys in a car, and we would drive a couple times a week back and forth to Chicago, and then follow Danny on the road when he was doing the indies on the weekends. And then I was going to school and working a couple jobs and just doing what I could to make the towns and try to learn.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream.
You know, sometimes me being the old grizzle vet that I am, somebody think, hey, these younger guys, man, ain't really paying no dues. You were paying dues. You were starving. You were trying to learn. You were busting your ass. I didn't realize the struggle until I started really getting into your history.
And
you
look,
really were committed.
And I was committed, but I had a lot of help. I mean, without my folks and that support system, it would have been real tough for me to have them have my back all the way through. Even my mom, she was hard on me, wanted me to go to school just in case, because you know she didn't want to see her only boy fall apart. It was tough, but without that support system, I wouldn't have made it. But yeah, I was willing to put in the work no matter what.
So you put in the work, and so you do some indies. You're starving. You ain't making no money. Sometimes you're losing money. You end up in ROH. You develop this incredible ring style. So how was the transition to Ring of Honor? And then they finally call upon you, or did you say, hey, here I am, let's go?
So Gabe Sapolsky, who works in NXT now, he was the head booker of Ring of Honor at the time. Ring of Honor was always a place that I wanted to work because the guys that had come through there, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Nigel McGuinness, Roderick Strong, who's in NXT now. But there was a ton of guys who were going through there, low key, who were really successful, AJ Styles. And they were doing the style that I liked. I mean, you got to remember, when you're 16, 17, you want to do what's cool. You know what I mean? The idea of drawing money is, you know what I mean? Yeah. I want to work. I want to be the work rate guy. I want to be Bret Hart. I want to be Shawn Michaels. That's the idea of wanting to do this and that and
Yeah.
call it a day and cash huge checks. That's not, you know what I mean? Your brain's not thinking that. So I loved that high flying kind of hybrid style. And so I wanted to emulate that. And Ring of Honor was a place that I thought I could go to try to learn. And what I did was Gabe was also running a small promotion in Florida called FIP. And so we hopped in a car, me and a few other guys. We ended up getting a call from Gabe to come down there and basically do a tryout. 22 hours in a car, let's go. We drove down there. We did 2 shows. After the first show, I wrestled Jay Briscoe in a singles match. He said, hey, we want to offer you a deal to come in. We want to put you with Jimmy Jacobs. We want to do this whole faction thing. We got an idea. So I love what you do. I think I see a bright future in you. And I was like, dude, let's go. I think my first contract was like $150 a night. You know what I mean? But I was like,
dude, that's big money back in the day.
And I was working for Ring of Honor, so I'm like, I'm making a step up, and I'm gonna get a chance to work with guys who are way outside my league as far as, you know, the psychology was concerned and understanding how to work. I was athletic, but I didn't have an idea of how to put anything together. You know?
Okay, you mentioned Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, you know, the technicians, but when you started creating your style, it's so athletic, you can do anything. So how do you come about your style?
I mean, it's just
with all of your influences, and you're watching Hogan and Warrior.
Yeah. So it's bits and pieces of all of it, right? Like I really like this dude from Japan called Hayabusa. And he was awesome, and he did a move called the Phoenix Splash. And so I was like, okay, I'll take that. AJ Styles is doing springboard forearms, or Punk was doing a springboard clothesline. Well, I'll take that. And then I take the original stuff that I was a fan of, like the Hogan and the Warrior stuff, and that's the entertainment part of it. That's the personality part of it. And so I just took little bits and pieces from guys that I saw and then tried to innovate a little bit on my own, because it was fun to try to think up new moves or different ways to get into things back then. And so try something, it doesn't work, you get rid of it, or you adjust it a little bit, you tweak it, and then you end up with a move set that you feel comfortable with and that you feel like gets good reactions. It's just one of those things where I don't have a great creative mind. Like you asked me to draw you something, I can't draw, can't paint nothing. I don't know how to do anything like that. But when it comes to like bodies in motion, when it comes to wrestling, I've always just had a keen eye and a sense for how something can work or doesn't work, or how we can fix it. And so for whatever reason, that's been a great talent of mine, and something that I've been able to utilize even when it comes to creating a style or a moveset or what have you.
Dude, you put together a hell of a string of success and work right there. But not really, you know, you're Tyler Black, but don't really understand the character yet. But you can work your ass off. How do you get into WWE and go down to FCW?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about a character. I didn't know what a character was at that point. I cut wrestling promos about the next town and the next fight. And fortunately for me, I was 6'1", 6'2", and I was in good shape. I was a decent looking kid, had a lot of potential. And at the time I was working with Joey Mercury. Now Joey is one
good
of
mind,
great wrestler mind, and he's a genius when it comes to stuff in the ring, and a big student of the game. He's been doing it since he was 16. He was in Ring of Honor at the time, doing a couple of odd dates, and I had worked with him on another indie, just one off. And he was like, "Hey man, you ever talk to anybody in New York?" And I was like, I don't know. New York meaning WWE.
Yes.
That's the territory. And so I don't know. I don't know how to do that. And he just gotten fired like his second or third time, and he's kind of jaded, but he still loves it. So he's still trying to help me out. He's like, let me just see what I got. At this time, my contract with Ring of Honor is coming up. I had signed a longer deal with a bit more money than 150. I was doing well. I was a champ there at the time. And so he called in. I think he was still friendly with Laurinaitis, who was the head of talent relations at the time. And you know, he's like, okay, have the kids email me, send me something. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What do I send him? Like, I don't have a headshot. I don't have a wrestling resume. I had another gentleman by the name of Dave Lagana who had worked with WWE. He was helping us in Ring of Honor at the time. So we had a bit of stock footage, and we put some stuff together. Dave did a great job just putting an email, because he knew what they were looking for since he worked here before. So he sent it up to Laurinaitis. At the same time, I was getting interest from TNA. They wanted to sign me to a contract as well, and Dixie Carter had called me. And I had agreed verbally to a contract with Terry Taylor, who was at TNA at the time. I had agreed verbally to a contract with him. And Jim Cornette calls me up on the phone. "Tyler, what the f are you doing?" He's like, "You ain't gonna go there and get over. You're gonna go there and get under. Damn, what are they signing? What are you signing? Don't do it. Don't go there. Wow. Is anybody from WWE calling you? Just give me a minute. Don't sign nothing. Send me over the deal. Just give me a minute.
But if you got Cornette on your side, I mean, that's a great asset.
Yeah.
Go ahead, keep going.
So Cornette's fucking reaming me out of the phone. Jesus Christ. Okay. So I sent him the contract, and now again, I've verbally told Terry Taylor, all right, I'm doing it. I hadn't gotten anything back from Laurinaitis. I hadn't heard anything from him, So I was like, well, I got this deal from TNA and Dixie Carter in front of me. I said, I might as well. It's more money than I've ever made in my life. For me, it's a lot of money, man. And so I'm like, okay, I really want to go to WWE, but I'll wait. So Terry's calling me. Hey, Seth, we're trying to get this contract sent over. And I'm just, I'm not answering. I'm just letting it go to voicemail. Finally, I get a call back I'm minutes away from signing this contract and faxing it back over. And so then finally I get a call. Hey, kid. Yeah, no. I saw your email. I got your voicemail. Yeah. Because I gave Johnny one last call and said,
this is the Laurinaitis impression.
Yeah, the Laurinaitis impression. I called him one more time and I said, hey, I got this deal from TNA. Unless you guys got something for me, I'm probably going to take it. And so he finally, a couple hours later, gives me that call and he says, let's talk in the morning. Don't sign anything tonight. Let's talk in the morning. Calls me the next morning, and obviously I feel like such an asshole because I got Terry Taylor just waiting.
And you're a kid. Don't do the wrong thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just waiting, for this call, and he finally calls me. He's like, all right, so we don't give jobs, we give opportunities line. We'll bring you down to Florida. We'll give you a developmental deal. How much you making there? Okay. We'll give you this much per week, and we'll bring you on down. So if that's what you like, we can do that for you. And I was like, yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. So then they sent me over to his assistant. They got the whole thing worked out, and I was signed, sealed, and delivered. But Cornette was like, oh, thank God. Everybody was real happy for me at Ring of Honor, and it was an easy experience on the way out. But I got a lot of good experience there, learned from a lot of great talent, and I got to work under Jimmy, who, say what you want about him, he's got years of experience.
Jimmy Cornette?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a huge Cornette
fan. Some people are not.
Well, he's very polarizing. I love him.
And I've got some heat with Cornette myself over some shit he said about Becky and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I did learn a lot from him during that period of time, and I was happy that he was in my corner and had my back on it.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream.
But you were such a talent that they knew that, Ring of Honor was kind of a training ground for good promotion, but it was a place for people to come, shine, and move to the next place.
Exactly, yeah.
So there you were. You go to FCW at the time. It's going to turn into NXT. A list of names. There's Charlotte Flair, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Kofi Kingston, Usos, Bella, Cesaro, and we can go on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're down there, and I just named off a lot of people probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. What's up when you get down to Florida, and what are your thoughts on what they got going on down there? What did you learn?
I walk into this warehouse. It is
almost sprayed you with beer.
It is a sweat box in Tampa, Florida. So you pull up, and it's so nondescript. It's literally just a warehouse, not much different than what we're in right now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, at least yours is on a freaking compound. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like you with some scenery. We're on Southdale Mabry in Tampa.
I get you.
There's nothing. And this is my first interaction with WWE. You're thinking this is the biggest wrestling company in the world. nah, man, you're still paying your dues. It wasn't what they have now in the Performance Center in
Yeah.
Orlando. My God,
That's
dude.
state of the art.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's what I expected when I went down there. That is not what I got. And mind you, over half the trainees there are people that they just picked up from different places.
Yes.
It's not guys who came from Ring of Honor. Most of the guys are athletes that you know.
Eyeball test.
Yeah,
They got
exactly.
no future there. Okay, try you in wrestling.
Yeah. And so I walk in the first day, and Dr. Tom Pritchard, who I love
Yeah.
him, amazing guy. He's taking roll or whatever, and I walk in, he looks at me. I said, hello, sir, you know, Colby Lopez, Tyler Black, Ring of Honor, just here to, you know, and he goes, 1 minute. Goes into his office. I hear him on the phone. Who the f is this guy coming in my door, shaking my hand? I don't know. Nobody told me anybody was coming. No one told him I was coming down. Johnny never briefed him that I was coming in. He comes out, all right, get changed, get over in the other ring. And then we just start running man in the middle.
Yeah.
So we run man in the middle drills, just sweating our asses off. And I remember thinking to myself, what? This is WWE? These people don't know how to wrestle? What is this crap? I'm Ring of Honor World Champion. I'm in the Hammerstein Ballroom 2 weeks ago, dropping the title to Roderick Strong with Terry Funk as the special enforcer. And now I'm in this warehouse, and this is supposed to be WWE?
Yeah.
My mind is blown. I was like, this can't be real.
You just downgraded.
I downgraded is what I thought in my head, but I was like, okay, let's go. Day one, let's get to work.
But you get down there, and through it all, whether it's a man in the middle drill or whatever, they see that you're a guy to build something around. So I want to play you some footage of you versus Jinder Mahal from back in the day.
Let's go. Oh,
NXT Championship on the line.
First
This is
one.
inaugural.
First one?
Yes.
Yeah. Dream in the ring. Wow, look at that kid, man. Look at NXT. Look at how everything has changed in just such a short period of time.
Okay, here we go. What's going on with the hair here?
Trying to stand out, man.
Yeah, trying to stand out.
Yeah, just trying to be
a little blonde
hey.
mixed in there. Nice athletic move there. Oh, out of the corner, hit the ropes, into the roll, drop kick. Great athleticism. Good high drop kick, another one. Oh, not so fast. Okay, here you go. No, down face first.
Ooh, bless
on
me.
the apron. But I think you have something up your sleeve coming.
Maybe? No, I think I just died.
No. Out there on the ramp, on your back. Everybody's watching because this is for the inaugural championship. Working the low back. Vicious knees from Jinder Mahal employed to the lumbar region.
The lumbar
of the
region.
spine.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, there's Trey.
there he
Oh!
is. There's the guy.
There you go. What's that, an enziguri?
Yeah, Pele kick. Yeah.
LA kick. Boom. Big high flyer, splash down. Jinder goes off. Okay, come on, a little oversell on the back here.
Nah, he's been working it.
Oh, he's been working it.
the back for a
2-point,
while,
okay.
man. You got to go back to it after you get that adrenaline rush. you know?
Okay. See ya.
Oh.
No, miss.
Bam.
Yeah, Pele.
There's an enziguri for you.
Enziguri. Damn it, I got to learn my high flying kicks. There you go. Nice. Boom. Boom. Good knee to the back of the cervical region. Is it enough for the win? No, it's not.
The people wanted it, though.
People wanted it.
I wanted it. I thought that was the end of it. Little Hayabusa.
Okay, here you go.
What?
Oh,
No,
man.
no
Good
water in the
crash
pool.
landed. Yep. Okay, can he capitalize? Man, that didn't look very good.
I don't know why I
Yeah.
did it that way.
Kick out.
Oh,
Oh, 2 5/8.
barely.
Is this the invention of the buckle bomb or whatever you call it?
Yeah, buckle bomb, baby.
Boom! Take that, mother.
Get down.
Boom!
Oh, then stomp. That's got to do
Roll
it.
him away from the ropes. Can't get the foot on. There
And
you
the
are.
people, look at them.
Look at the people.
That's what
Hanging
I'm
from
saying.
the rafters. Dusty Rhodes was one of the reasons I got into the business. I watched Houston wrestle way back in the day. He was bleeding like a stuck pig. He's the guy that hired me to WCW and gave me a chance coming out of USWA when I was traveling with Tom Pritchard. So, to you though, what did you learn from the Dream?
I can't tell if it's the beer or what, but I'm just seeing that it's getting me a little emotional. God, I miss him, man. He was awesome. I was sitting in my wrestling school the other day, and somebody asked me about him as well. They said, "What was the one thing that he taught you more than anything, or one thing you really learned from him?" And yeah, you can't do Dusty without trying to get in the Dusty voice. And I said, "Seth, baby, just be yourself." And that was the thing, man. When I got down to Florida, like I said, they wanted you to pay your dues, and part of that was they would tell you what you did to get there wasn't what was going to make you successful. They really wanted to mold you in their way. And Dusty, if you knew him, and if you watch anything about Dusty, you know that he never fit into any mold, and that's what made him special. He's like, don't listen to that. You be yourself. You stay true to who you are, and you're going to be just fine. And that coming from him and what he'd accomplished, that meant the world to me. And so I knew that no matter what, if I stuck to my guns and I had that voice in the back of my head, things would be all right one way or another.
What do you think, like when he says, hey, be yourself? I mean, because it almost took you a while to find yourself.
Yo, yeah. I mean, I'm 20, what am I here, 26, something like that, 25? I don't know what myself is, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yourself is a work in progress. It's constantly changing.
Absolutely.
But it's in that moment, understanding that you know what you're doing in that moment. No one else can tell you how to be you in that ring. No one else can tell you. You got to figure that shit out. And so that's what being yourself is. When you're in that ring, the second you start second guessing who you are or what you're doing, or thinking that you don't belong, or whatever, whether it's the audience or the people in the back or somebody telling you something different, it's done. It's over. You gotta, in that moment, it's you and nobody else. And if you have that confidence, man, you're on the path to being unstoppable.
I agree. Cheers.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho! That's every guy's dream. Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream.
So what did Vince say as far as, hey, here's your mission statement, or here's the, mode of operation? That was y'all?
Nothing.
So did you guys start traveling together?
Oh yeah, immediately.
Okay,
Immediately.
so how are you booking the territory? What are you thinking about what you're going to do as far as trying to further the gimmick?
So immediately it's, Mercury was another one. He was a huge influence. He's like the kind of the ghost member of the Shield. He was like, all right, this is what you guys are doing. You're on the road now. You'll ride together. You room together. You talk about the business together. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every week for 2 years we were doing that. We would just talk about how the night went, the matches, what we saw, if someone was somebody we wanted to work with, or if they didn't like working with, we had a great story with Randy where we did a similar jump on him, and we never planned these things out. There was no rehearsal. It was like, okay, here they come. So we never knew how we were going to hit him. And Ambrose was one of the safest guys in the world, but Randy don't know that at the time. So I jump up on, I always went high. Ambrose usually went low. So it depends on who. I was a little bit faster, so I'd get there first. So I jump up on Randy, who's a big dude.
Yeah.
I get on his back, and before he has any time to think, Ambrose is there with a chop block. And it's a nice chop block.
Yeah.
It's as safe as they come, but you feel somebody coming low when you've got somebody on your head, and it's panic time.
Yeah.
And so, we went in on him, whatever. We come back to Gorilla, and Randy's hot. He is hot. He is yelling. He's like, man.
I think you guys trying to shoot
Yeah,
on him.
he's like basically saying he's going to put a hit out on Ambrose. And I remember he leaves Gorilla, and we're all just like,
Lighten up, Francis.
Hunter's like, don't worry about it. So,
Hey, so I know you guys are like, you kind of turned into brothers, and, you're all in it together, and you're depending on each other, and you're close friends, but there's also a competitive element.
Oh, 100%.
So there's competition within the group. Talk to me about that. I mean, because everybody wants to be number one.
Yeah, I always
Any
felt,
dissension?
I always no dissension directly. It's a healthy competition,
Yes.
right? We all hope the best for all of us. I think the
Right.
one thing that we started to notice probably halfway through the run was that, from a top brass perspective, I think Roman was meant to be the focus. And we were starting to get instruction from our producers to put what we like to call the Romans into the match. Roman moments.
Yeah.
So the Romans, where Roman would shine. And so then he was starting to get a good reaction on his own from the crowd, but we started to see the writing on the wall with that. And that's where Ambrose and our brains started to go in different directions. Okay, when this thing splits, what's this going to look like? Where are we going to go? And so, but it's a good, healthy competition. At no point were we like, what's this about us? No, we were never going into business for ourselves. It was always about the group. We knew that if the group did well, we'd all be fine on the way out of it.
Okay, so you guys are a unit for a couple of years here, but we're going to take to a career-changing moment, and I have another beer for you right here.
Just in time.
In case you haven't figured it out yet.
Triple H on the stick here. There's Randy Orton.
There he is, looking.
Little turn here, the turn ski.
Plan A.
Yeah.
Tonight, Plan B.
Always got to be a plan
There's
B.
always a Plan B.
I didn't have plan B when I got in. Doesn't sound like you had a plan B either.
No, I didn't.
You had to go home, but you ended up making it.
Yeah.
Now you're on top of the world. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Oh.
Seth! You bastard.
Oh, man.
What are you thinking, man?
Oh, man.
Good sell job by Bros.
Oh, the moment.
Oh,
Man.
boy, you got that look on your face. Here's one for you.
God, I think there's still people that haven't fully forgiven me for this. Oof.
I couldn't believe it either. Okay, another good one. Okay, here he goes. Okay, no, the Roman's over there. Okay, dude, he kind of went belly up. I was like, okay. Okay, he goes back down.
There you
Okay,
go.
there you go, Roman.
Oh, no.
Couple of that boy.
Oh, that chair.
Jesus Christ, what's up with killing Ambrose?
I hope that, well, you know.
Good heat, good heat.
Yeah, the story.
Crowd shock, great reaction. Talk to me about this. What are you feeling here? I mean, it's got to feel good.
Oh,
Separate
man.
yourself from the pack, and you're about to go, down your own road.
It was nerve-wracking, man. That was a nerve-wracking moment. They sprung that on us. We're talking hours before that happened. Hours. That's it. No, because what happened was, so they wanted to break us up. They wanted to break us up.
There's always a story.
There's always a
Love
story.
it.
They wanted to break us up back in January, maybe December even. We were somewhere there. They wanted to go to Ambrose and Roman at that year's WrestleMania, which was 30 in New Orleans. And I was left out that maybe a special referee or something like that. And I was like, you kidding me? Anyway, so they wanted to break us up. And we're like, we had just kind of turned the corner into being baby faces. The crowd was just starting to get behind us. Yeah. And eventually, over the time, it was like, all right, they're too cool. We can't boo them no more. So we were like, dude, no, don't break. What are you doing? We're not ready for that yet. We got a whole run as a baby face. We've done a year and a half, 2 years as heels. Like, we got a whole run as baby faces. There's a lot of merch. Money we're leaving on the table here, man. Let's go. So they wanted to break us up before that, and we're like, no. So I remember we went to Hunter and we talked about it, and we ended up, hashing out. We ended up working with the Outlaws and Kane at WrestleMania, which was a truncated match, a glorified squash, because you guys talked for 35 minutes or something like that. And then Brian and Hunter went out and did 35 minutes. And you know how the shit falls downhill. So we had about 90 seconds and went out there and did our thing. So then we did 2 matches with Evolution. No peep of a turn, no peep of a breakup, no one saying anything. This is the night after the second. We wiped the floor with Evolution. It was a clean sweep on the elimination match, I believe. And they pull us into the office and they say, tonight's the night.
Okay, tonight's the night. This goes down. We're going to go to Money in the Bank 2014. Got this photo.
There he is.
There he is. Good-looking kid on top of the ladder.
Yeah, on top of the
gold
world,
briefcase.
Man. That's a great feeling there.
That's a great shot. Ambrose laying there.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream.
How are you feeling right now with the Seth Rollins character, where you're at right here, right now?
I mean, right at this point, we're talking about, this is the first time in my life that I had a character, that I had a personality that I could wrap my head around. The Shield was, it was its own thing. It was a cult of personality. It became its own entity, right?
And there was safety behind it.
Yeah, with the three of us. But now you're out on your own. And now, again, we talked about getting into the Shield. I go, I'm my own man. But after you get in that comfort zone for a while, now you're used to that. You come out of it, especially when they just spring it on you.
Yeah.
What do I do? What's next? The next SmackDown after that turn, I came out of my Shield gear because they didn't even tell me in time to get that. I didn't even
Right.
have a new plan, no entrance music, no nothing. So by the time we get to this point now, I go, oh, I got a character. I'm a slimy scumbag sellout heel. I'll do whatever it takes to get to the top. I get it, man. So I get this character. Like once I finally got it after all these years of being in the business, I go, oh, I got a character. I got a personality that I can lean into. This moment is, to me, almost as good as winning the first world title in the sense that that briefcase is your meal ticket, that contract. And you know that that's the company saying, this is going to be your guy at some point in time.
Right.
And so that is a huge, that's an awesome feeling as a performer, as a young performer branching out on your own. You go, wow, they give a shit about me. They care.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah, and you have that going for you, but you just get a sense here because you start growing into this character. Yeah, you're that slimy scumbag type of heel, low life, whatever it takes. But when you get that identity and you can form the decisions from it, and that gives you that confidence. You're already a world-class worker. You get the character, that things really start getting tight.
Yeah, because then look, until I went to FCW, no one told me how to cut a promo.
Right.
You know, before I talked with Dusty about what a promo should look like or feel like or anything like that, I didn't know. I didn't know nothing. No one said anything to you on the indies in your training about how to do promos. So you're just cutting these wrestling promos about next Saturday night at the Coliseum. And that ain't you're not making nobody feel with that. So now I've got Dusty in my head and I've got this character. And like you said, it all just comes together. Now you're just talking. Because you're this character, you live it, you breathe it every single day. And so everything starts to come together. You finally start to, this is the first time in my life I got to have a microphone and sit around and talk to a crowd for an extended period of time. And I finally start to develop that facet of my game, and that you're off to the races. That's when you get to be to the next level.
You talk about having that briefcase, and you know that the company's believing in you. So let's take you to a moment in WrestleMania 31 when you're about to cash in, and this is a great moment. Here we go. These guys have been out here beating the tar out of each other.
What a fight.
Yeah. Roman Reigns has successfully emerged to do his own thing.
Yep.
He's doing great things now. Brock has done his thing. Two top guys. Here you are. You're the guy. You're cashing in. I love the Kyoto cell. You know, it takes a while to register, right?
Oh,
You think
yeah.
just ring the
Go,
they
go,
let him know.
go.
Okay, so here comes Lillian with the announcement.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins is cashing in
There
his
you are.
money in the bank.
Let's do it.
Therefore, this will now be a triple threat match.
Oh, man.
Okay, get out of the way. Okay, he booted him out of the ring.
Get out
See
of
you later, unceremoniously. He'll come back into the fold in a minute. Task at hand. Brock is so good.
Oh, he's one of the best.
He's
ever.
done a lot of good business with you. Curb stomp. Love the curb stomp. Check on Roman. He's still incapacitated to some degree. Oh, he's setting himself up. I could get another curb stomp here.
Got it. Brock ain't
Got
going
to.
down with just one.
Oh, no, it's not a curb stomp.
God bless him.
Oh, what a spear.
Boom.
Jesus, coming from out of frame, just super impactful. Curb stomp on Roman.
And boom.
Jump on him. 1, 2, 3. The champ.
It's the best cash in of all time.
Dude, that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what you love to see, right?
You can't
And
beat
see,
it, man.
that's moments, right?
Yeah.
You got matches and stuff like that, but look, here we go.
Yeah, that's-
It's those moments. It's like, man, those pieces of action, and then when you look at that crowd reaction, you want to have great matches, but moments.
That's what people remember, man.
Snapshots of, hey, you remember when Seth did this? You remember when Seth did that? Or
Yeah.
this guy did that. It's all about the moments. What are you thinking there, man?
Oh man, at that time. Sometimes when I watch that, I don't even remember. Like I've seen it so many times at this point that it's almost like an out-of-body experience, right? It's almost like that somebody else did that thing. It's so hard for me to remember what it was like in my own eyes during that process. It was so surreal. It happened so fast. I couldn't soak all of it in. I couldn't fully embrace what was going on. I was just wrapped up in the euphoria of, holy shit, I just left WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, that feeling that's all you dream of.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all you dream of. And then doing it in that way that no one's ever done it before, because that was my idea. The way it came together, like you said, it's people remember moments. You want to live forever? Moments are how you do it. Moments are make that immortal. Like someone told me one time that cash in for them was like Hogan slamming Andre for their dad.
Yeah.
And I go, whoa.
Mind blown.
Yeah, dude. I
get it.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. I'll never fully feel like I'm on that level with,
No, but they do.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
not about us. It's about what they remember.
But it's crazy, right? People talk about your WrestleMania 13 match with Brett that way, and people remember that moment, that the face, the blood, that moment you passed in. They remember that so vividly. It impacts them so much in their mind. But you'll never be able to like fully understand how that compares to Hogan, Andre. You know what I'm saying? You can't put yourself in
Yeah,
that.
we don't do that.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. But yeah, it doesn't get any better than that, dude. That's amazing.
Okay, man, so you're going to go on to have a lengthy run as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion and a standout match with John Cena at SummerSlam, which would also give you the United States Championship. But then things would change as we take you to a clip from Dublin, Ireland. And to your credit, after this devastating knee injury, I believe you finished the match.
We did finish the match, yeah.
It was hard for me to watch this because, God damn.
I don't know.
Oh, dude, look at you. Credit to you. Props.
Yeesh.
Hey, what are you thinking, man? When that wheel buckles on you, what are you thinking? Because I've been there, but this is a little bit more devastating than what I've done. Where are you?
Yeah, it's almost disbelief, right? I never really had any sort of serious injuries, like acute injuries, so I didn't really know what was going on. And the fact that I was still able to get under Kane and pick him up, he's 330 pounds, shoot. And so I was still able to get up and move him. I was like, well, it can't be that bad if I can do all that, put him down. I felt like my knee kind of moving, which is uncomfortable. But I was like, maybe it's just a sprain and it's loose or something like that. I don't know. Pinned him, go to the back. They do a little bit of tests on it, kind of move it around. It was swelling a little bit. I'm like, it's probably a sprain. They put it on in a brace, and I was like, feels okay, whatever. They get an MRI in the morning, but it'll probably be fine. I'm like, maybe we do a tag match tomorrow night. Like that was what I was saying.
Take half the workload off.
Yeah. Let's do a tag match, no big deal. We're on a European tour. It's the first night of the European tour in November. So I'm like, we'll just, whatever. We got 2 more weeks, but I can get through doing a couple tag matches. Probably by next week, I'll be fine. Get the MRI early in the morning. I go back to bed. Wake up from a call from our physician, Dr. Amon. He says, so you've torn your ACL and your MCL and your meniscus is pretty shredded. And I'm like, what's that mean? He's like, well, we're sending
Give
you
me the bottom line.
Yeah. What's the deal here? He's like, well, we got to send you to Birmingham. You need surgery as soon as possible to get that thing sorted. And, you're out probably 6 to 9 months. And it was like, in a weird way, I was sad about it, but it was almost just like a weight had been lifted off me in a weird way. 'Cause there's a lot of pressure, carrying that title. And that can eat you up. And so I've been running hard for a long time. And so it was like almost like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. But at the same time, I felt like I was letting everybody down. I felt like I was letting the audience down. I felt like I was letting Vince down. I felt like the company, I was letting, they depended on me to get this title from WrestleMania to, wherever I was going to take it next. And I just felt like, well, now I've thrown a wrench into their plans. They booking the shows around me and stuff like that. And it was a really disheartening experience. Like I felt relieved, but at once a lot of guilt over it. And
well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. single moms who are tired of sitting at home, and single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream. Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho! That's every guy's dream.
Okay, but then the Shield's going to reunite. But doesn't feel the same?
So, my saving grace as a babyface was getting back into a team with Ambrose, which was a really well-built story. And I think part of my character that I needed to develop before I could move forward was that I needed to apologize for that chair shot, because there was such a portion of the audience that had not forgiven me for that. And so there was a weird, and I needed him in the middle there to forgive me for it, or to say, I understand.
I'm with you. I was living it.
Yeah, so they needed that moment. They needed that catharsis. We all did. And I don't think they were ever going to fully accept me as a babyface until we talked about that moment. And so we did a really good, nice couple of month build with Ambrose where we finally got the fist together. We did it. And I remember the moment was in Boston and the place went through the roof. We did a couple of weeks of back and forth where I would do it and he would walk away, and then the next week he would do it and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's on your terms. No, thank you. Then finally we put it all together. It was a good moment. We get the big dog back in there at the end, and it felt nice. We've done a bunch of reunions as it is now, but it was a good time to get it together and have fun. And we're all in different places at this point in our career.
Okay, yeah, because the Shield would ultimately disband. You guys would all go your own way. How did you feel about everybody? Okay, we did it. We got back together. Let's go do our own things.
It served its purpose, man.
Correct.
The Shield was never meant to last forever. The Shield was meant to be a vehicle to create 3 stars.
And it did.
And it did. You got Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley. And all of us at the top of our games, wherever we're at, and it doesn't matter. And that was the goal. And in my opinion, because of that, we're the most successful faction of all time. Because of that, you look at the accolades of those 3 guys, you combine them all as single stars, and I don't mean this as any disrespect to Marty Jannetty. Nobody's the Marty. Everybody has made their own waves in their own way, and everybody in that group is special. And I don't know that there's any other group in the history of our industry that can say that every single person that ever was a part of it is a special performer, is a future Hall of Famer in the group and by themselves. The Horsemen, maybe.
Right.
Horsemen, maybe.
Right.
But you don't have the individual success. Flair was the individual star there. The other guys, incredible workers in all their incarnations, but they don't have the special success that Flair did. We're all Ric Flairs in this situation.
Right. Hey, backtracking a little bit and going back to you being a pure worker, you would win the IC title, becoming a Grand Slam champion. That title is kind of known as, that's the worker's worker.
Yeah.
That's the guy that's, tearing down the house every single night. What pride did you take in holding that belt? I mean, everybody wants to be the world champion, but that IC champion, that's the working man's belt.
Yeah, man. It always had a special place in my heart growing up. Yeah, whether it was Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, sometimes those IC title reigns are more fun and more exciting, more memorable than the world title reigns. And I don't know if it's because us as performers, we put more pressure on it, but I really just loved the IC title. I loved it. And so I actually pitched to have that run. That was my idea.
Really?
Yeah. So when I talk about being in no man's land, I had a conversation with Vince. He had brought me into his office one time, and this is in the middle of the summer after the Hunter match, and I'm in the middle of doing nothing, kind of in, like I said, in no man's land, and what happened to Seth Rollins? What happened to Seth freaking Rollins? Where's that guy? I need that fire. I need that top. I know what he's trying to do, right? I know what he's trying to do. And so I'm not going to sit there. Look, I have all the respect in the world for my boss, for Vince as a person. We have a good relationship, but you're not going to talk to me like that without me firing back. And so I fired back at him. And we got into a heated discussion and argument. And I'm like, look, man, you just give me the ball and I'll take it to the house. But you got to give me the opportunity. You put me in a bullshit situation where I'm having to kind of fill in these spots and I'm not getting the focus that I deserve. I'm like, give me the opportunity and you'll see the guy that you want to see. It's not me. Trust me. I put forth the effort every night. I make every damn town. I bust my ass for you. Don't give me that shit. And he respects that, man. He respects when you do that, when you stand up for yourself. And I was like, look, we're nowhere with this babyface character, right? We're nowhere. Give me a run as an IC champ.
Yeah.
Let's work to get into Finn, Miz, and Seth at WrestleMania, New Orleans. Give me that title and let me just run with it as a babyface, man. The work rate will get me over. I promise you. It'll take the pressure off me. You do whatever you want with your world title and just let me go out there and have a good time. And I promise you, you're going to get these people to see who the real guy is. And that's what happened. We had what I think is one of the best wrestling openers of WrestleMania in this triple threat match. It was a blast. Finn and Miz are awesome, both professionals, both incredible talents in the ring. We had a great match, cool entrance to go with it. And then we were off to the races, and I got to have matches with Miz, Mojo Rawley, Jinder Mahal. I mean, it didn't matter who I was in the ring with. I was in a special place with the fans at that time. They were just like...
See, but man, I'd love to hear these stories like that about, guys' relationship with Vince. Because I always say, I'll ask somebody, hey, man, how's your relationship with Vince? And they'll give me some song and dance. Dude, like when I ask you, you have confrontation with him. I had confrontations with him. I would tell him what's up. To your point, he respects you when you will fire back on him or say, no, here's what's up, or here's what I see. He's a businessman.
Yep.
But he respects you more when you give him your opinion. And dude, if you're going to double down on yourself and say, hey, give me the IC belt. You ain't going to regret it. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And you're proving it. I never knew that you had that relationship with Vince. You fire back on him. You have to.
And look, you got to pick your time and place. I'm not saying every week going there.
Oh, absolutely.
Or if I had walked in the door day one and been like, I'm your next world champ, you can't do that. You got to build equity over time. It's like any sort of relationship. He gives you a little bit and you do what you can with it, and if you turn it into something, he's going to respect you. But at this point in our career, I've been his guy, one of his guys for a decade. We got to have that relationship. He's got to. If he doesn't hear it from me, who's he going to hear it from, man? Because not everybody's going to tell him that.
Oh, dude, and if you've been there 10 years and you ain't said you f***ed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's on you. Yeah, you can't.
If you haven't learned the game, you can learn how to work all you want. But if you don't learn the game, back to Joey Mercury's point.
Yeah.
Hey, I digress. Let's jump forward to WrestleMania 35, a match against yourself and Brock Lesnar, Universal Championship at stake. Brock, a guy that I highly respect, always did good business with you.
It took some time. Yeah.
Okay, was it tough?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's not going to just let you come in
mountain of a man.
Yeah.
Shoot fighter.
And on a shoot can take anybody in that locker room.
Yeah.
So it takes time to earn his respect.
Yeah.
It takes time to earn his respect.
What did it take for you to earn his respect?
It took me a cold pack of Coors Light in his locker room after this match.
Really?
Actually, well before. So Brock and I, we talked, just quick flashback to 2015. Brock and I have a singles match at a pay-per-view called Battleground, and I've got all these grand ideas about working with Brock. It's based off our heat from the WrestleMania match, right? So I win the title from him in that match, take it to Battleground, he comes back, we have the match, but no one really remembers the match because at the end of that match, Taker comes back. Taker comes back at the end of the match. They go on to SummerSlam, have their business, do their business. But Brock didn't know that till the day of. And he was upset that he was blindsided, mostly. Yeah. And he was taking it out on the match. But he was like, they're going to remember me and Taker going off, so why do you want to do all this crap that no one's going to care? Let's tell a simple story. We'll get to the end, and we'll do the business with Taker. Sorry, but that's how it is. And I remember being heartbroken. I remember being like, man, why is this guy like this? He doesn't want to work with younger talent. What is this bull crap? But I didn't get it, man. I didn't see the bigger picture. And you say what you want about Brock Lesnar. From a business perspective, gets it, man. He really understands it. And so then you flash forward, we're doing the program going into this, and you know, it was pretty good, it was okay, but it was parallel to the Becky, Ronda, Charlotte story. And so we're both vying for that main event spot. And I remember Becky gets the call that they're gonna put the women on last. And I'll be honest with you, that hurt me. I thought this was gonna be my year, man. I'm getting this match with Brock. And if you have a world title match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, 99 out of 100 times that's going on last, except this year when my wife was as hot as any babyface has ever been, and she's got a perfect foil in Ronda Rousey. And there's no question that in 2019, that's the year that main event's got to go on last. There's no question, and I knew it, and I felt it for a couple months leading up to it, but I was just holding out hope that for some reason we were going to be able to catch some fire to go on last, because that's the one thing. We talk about all the accolades, dude. I had the moment where I cashed in, but I've never been on the marquee as the main event to WrestleMania. I'm not going to let that diminish what else I've done. I've had a great career, but that's the one thing that has eluded me in my life. And so that hurt me really bad. And at the same time, I'm so happy for Becky. My God, the first woman to ever main event WrestleMania, and it's all on her back because she's the one that put in the time and effort to get her character to where she was at. God, I'm so happy for her, but at the same time, I'm torn in this personal disappointment that it's not me. So that was a tough spot from a relationship perspective to how do I navigate this? How do I be upset for myself and feel what I need to feel and also be very happy for her and so excited for her moment? So that was a tough spot going into this WrestleMania. And initially when the card came out, we were supposed to go right before them. Brock was like, nah, we need to do something different. It's going to hurt both matches if they're back to back. It's going to take the
smart call. Agree.
100%. It's going to take the wind out of the sails of both finishes. So he's like, we need to switch this up. Let's do something we've never done. Let's go on first.
That was his call?
100% Brock.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you because I thought, were you offended that it was the first match? Because, I mean, first match is a good spot. You know, the last spot is the best spot.
That's where you want it.
First, yeah. If you're going to start to show off hot, so that's very interesting to know that was his call.
Yeah, but I mean, they had announced previously, and I don't know that they'd ever done this, but they'd announced a couple weeks in advance specifically that the girls were going on last. And so I don't know that Brock knew. Maybe he thought we'd be in the middle spot somewhere. But when we got to the show point, it was on second to last, and he just felt like it was just going to take, like I said, the wind out of the sails of my win and the wind out of the sails of the Becky win if they were kind of back to back. So, and it took some convincing to push Vince in that direction. But within an hour of the show, we didn't make the switch till like an hour before we were going out. But yeah, dude, I really enjoyed working with him. I learned a lot from him. And, you know, I knew he liked Coors Light. So I had a nice bucket of Coors Light in his locker room just as a thank you. And I think that really won him over. We sat down after and had a couple drinks. Sorry to ruin your mystique, Brock, but you're actually a nice guy when you want to be.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream.
You got footage from the match? WrestleMania 35, Brock Lesnar, the Beast Slayer.
Slay the Beast, my friend. When I brought out the Kingslayer stuff a couple years back with the Hunter match, I didn't think it would turn into a Beast Slayer thing too. I never thought it would get all the way there.
How did the fire thing come about? The burn it down and all that.
Dude, that's Vince. That's a Vince thing. I did a commercial for the video game where I burnt this building down, and I don't remember where the burn it down itself came from, but Vince wanted to put it in the music somewhere in the beginning, like some sort of intro,
Yeah.
classic, like the glass breaking,
Yeah.
right? Something that triggers instead of just the guitar riff. I was like, this is stupid. Why are we doing this? This is dumb. I'm like, whatever. And we ended up trying out a couple different versions. There was like a whisper, like, burn it down, and like a couple of things. I got the screen version. I'm like, all right, we'll go with that. And then the next thing you know, it became it's my
Damn thing,
iconic
yeah.
thing. Yeah, that was 100% a Vince call.
Okay, here we go.
Lesnar almost ran into the official. Oh, no! Rollins goes low. Rollins goes low.
Wham! Curb stomp.
Yeah,
He's so good at selling.
the best, dude.
You know, he's just,
he's one of the, if not
he
number
can be
one.
so giving.
Yeah,
You know,
when he wants to be.
yeah, when he wants to be. Because if he don't want to, it ain't happening.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Another one. Oh, he's in harm's way. Pulling yourself up. Can you muster up the strength to deliver a third and final curb stomp?
Look at that. God,
Right position.
what a face.
Perfect. Oh, jeez. And just belly up, flat back, hook the leg out of respect. Boom, arm across, you know, body weight across the other shoulder, can't kick out. Total respect cover, clean in the middle.
He's one of the best
Don't
ever.
get no
man.
better than that.
Yeah, that's nice. And you don't start those WrestleManias with big WWE title changes at all.
No, you don't. Your thoughts on, you know, just the Universal Championship, your run with it, and how you feel about it?
That was nice, man. That was good. I really. So we ended up doing a bunch of weird stuff here in the middle before we got to the worst match of the year later in the year.
Sorry I brought that up.
Yeah, that's a good way to start. But so for me, the SummerSlam match, that was the one, man. So yeah, I take this to Saudi Arabia. I do some stuff. We work with Corbin. We do a mixed tag with me and Becky and Lacey and Corbin. There's some stuff there. But I mean, the story from WrestleMania to SummerSlam is me and Brock. He ends up stealing the Money in the Bank contract, ends up cashing in on me after that Extreme Rules match. And then we go to Toronto. So the run there was okay, but it was really more about the Toronto match. We finally got to have the Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins match. And we that one I'm so proud of, because going into Toronto, our audience, they're tough on baby faces these days. And so they were starting to drift on me a little bit.
That's what I was going to bring up. Things
yeah.
kind of start sliding down a little bit.
Little bit.
How did that feel for you, or did you wonder why?
I mean, I always wonder why. You always ask the question of why, but it felt like I wasn't doing my job. Your job as a babyface is to get cheered.
Sometimes it's better to come from, be on the upswing rather than be there, because sometimes it's hard to maintain this.
It's so difficult
Yeah.
to maintain that as a top babyface because the story is the chase.
Yeah.
The story. That's
Of the vulnerability.
Yeah, people root for the underdog.
Yeah.
They don't want to root for the guy on top. Nobody, the Yankees are the heels. You know what I mean? So once you get to the top, it's really hard to keep that. And my character is not a badass. Like, I'm not a badass character. And I'm not like the underdog. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm athletic. I'm 6'2". I got a great wife. You know what I mean? There's nothing about me that's like that I go, I just really want to root for that guy. He's had it tough. You know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I don't have that.
Very honest assessment.
Yeah, I don't have that. I've
Yeah.
been very fortunate, and so I'm in a position where it's just hard as a babyface champion to be at that level.
Yeah.
And our audience now is very unforgiving. And I went into the story with Becky, whose man character is much more badass than my character. And so when we were playing off of each other, it was not something she was comfortable with entirely. They also didn't have a bunch of great heels lined up for me either.
Yeah.
Coming on the back end of that becomes difficult if there's not a ton of people that they have lined up for you to work with.
Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. single moms who are tired of sitting at home, and single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho, that's every guy's dream. Well, dig this. I just heard about a dating website where the women hunt you. Yeah, that's right. It's called CougarLife.com. So, who are the women on CougarLife.com, you ask? I will tell you. They're divorcees that are desperate to date. Single moms who are tired of sitting at home. And single women in their sexual prime. The one thing they all have in common is they're all prowling CougarLife.com looking for a hot young stud. So if you're tired of playing games with girls at the bar, join CougarLife.com for free. That's right, for free. And meet women who know what they want. Hey, guys, do I need to spell it out for you? With over 4 million members and someone new joining every 16 seconds, Cougar Life is so confident you'll hook up with a hot cougar, they now guarantee it. Who hadn't fantasized about being with a MILF? Ho-ho! That's every guy's dream.
I also understand you're somewhat of an entrepreneur. Don't you have a coffee shop as well?
Got a couple of coffee shops, man.
Okay, talk about it.
Yeah, I love the caffeine. You know, when you're on the road, you fall into your patterns, right?
Yeah.
You get your things that you like to do. And one of the things that myself and Cesaro like to do, we'd go to coffee shops just to hang out and get a good cup. And the way that, like, the popularity of beer, Budweiser, whatever, gave the rise to the craft beer movement, that's the same thing that happened with Starbucks. When Starbucks got huge, now you had all these people on the underneath that said, well, I don't want to be McDonald's. I want to take care of the craft coffee, you know.
Right.
And so we would stop in all these places, and Davenport, Iowa just never had one. So I was like, let's figure this out, man. I think I want to put one in. So fortunately, we got one right next to the academy. So there's one there, and there's another one on the other side of town we just opened up recently. It's awesome. I love the coffee, and I love the wrestling, and it's been a great time so far, man.
Hey, man, so you grew up as a fan of the business, started at 14, and then just turned into just a hell of a worker, turned into a great character. You've achieved so much success. You're only 35. God dang, I retired at 38. Didn't want to. How long do you want to go? You know, what's left for you? I mean, do you still love it as much as you did?
I do, but in a different way. You know, my goals as I've gotten older in the business have, you know, I've checked off a lot of boxes. And so we discussed a bit earlier that WrestleMania main event being on the marquee for that. That one looms pretty heavy over my head, and I don't think I'd be satisfied entirely until I get that one done. If ever, you know, there's not a lot of guys that have that prestige, but I'm going to work towards it. And I love the performance aspect of what we do. And now that we're back to live crowds, like, God, I love that, man. I'll never get sick of that. That's that synergy, that feeling, you can't beat that, dude. You really can't. And so I love that. But now as a dad, priorities are starting to shift a little bit. I've got a couple years left on my contract. I definitely want to see that through. And then after that, we'll see what happens, you know? I don't know. I wish I had proper answers. I love it. But, yeah, life's starting to get a lot bigger when you've got a little baby girl. And when my contract's up, she'll be about 3 or 4, getting ready to go into school and do stuff. So we'll see, man. If it all ended tomorrow, I'd be pretty satisfied with the things that I've accomplished and the contributions that I've made to the business. I do think that, you know, I always wanted to just leave it better than I found it. And I think that I've been able to do that in some respects. And so I'm proud of that.
Man, you have a beautiful wife. She's been a friend. I've always respected her. I have a friendship with her. You have a beautiful daughter. Congrats on all your success. I appreciate you coming out here in the middle of nowhere, risking your life, place about to burn down.
Yes,
burn it down.
Putting my life at risk for this interview, man.
Dude, you've had a hell of a run. You've got a bunch of years left in the tank, as long as you want to take it. Thanks for coming out and talking to me out here in Broken Skull Sessions.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers. Much success, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on that marquee on a WrestleMania.
One of these days, man.
Sending it off like this. My name is Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is the Drip God, Seth Rollins, here on the Broken Skull Sessions, and that's the bottom line because I said so.